Yeah, I was getting visits on the regular. I was fortunate. I had a girlfriend that stayed by my side the entire time that I was gone, my first child's mother. She was my girlfriend from the age of 13 to 23. You know, so she stayed down with me. I had other females because I had groupies, because I was a young, known gangbanger, you know.
Yeah, women are responsible for, I don't know, there's women who will brag about, I got two people.
The ABs were the ABs.
It almost seemed like a drug dealing operation.
We called it the unholy alliance. It was the ABs and the Emmys, they were hooked up.
Yeah.
All right.
Were they kind of controlling a lot of the drugs?
They controlled, I'm going to safely say, 80% of the drugs in prison at that time.
Oh, okay. So even blacks, if they were getting high, it might be going to them.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't a thing then of where you shunned one another. You just didn't smoke, eat, or drink after each other.
Yeah.
Okay? And you just, you didn't walk in between each other's tables, but you knew who was who. Like, Emmys were able to walk the line then. Mexican Mafias were able to walk the line. ABs were able to walk the lines. But not once they become validated in California Department of Corrections.
It was like the late 80s. When they slam everybody, like 90, 89.
They started slamming in the 90s when they made Pelican Bay. Okay. Yeah. So it was like basically, man, you knew who was who, man. Everybody knew me as the target on my back. That's the little torpedo right there. He's the first one.
Were there any attempts on you?
I got hit in the top of the head. I got hit in the back.
With a knife?
Yeah, it was 2 inches deep, 1 inch long.
What do you know why someone targeted you?
Yeah, we took off on them.
Oh, okay. So this was a different.
Yeah. We rushed 40 syringes like we were out of our minds.
Okay. So that 82, 83, 84 wasn't that started to be like a Crips versus?
Yeah, the syringes and Mexican Mafias, because they inadvertently killed one of our guys, Louis Montgomery from Grape Street Watts, slow drag, Kajua.
Oh, when he was in a cell, they somehow got him?
He was coming out. They accidentally killed that guy in the cell.
That was a different thing.
And that was a different thing, but that brought us into it. And so the homies destroyed their Cinco de Mayo date, and they took off on the homies on Juneteenth. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was like tit for tat. And then the war kicked off, then we started getting all these letters like, take off, take off, take off, take off. And then homies started coming from other spots. So when I got to Tracy, they were coming from emergency housing unit in Folsom. I'd send a letter, say to you, and say, hey, do you want me to pay that dude that pack of cigarettes? And if you shot me a letter back saying, yeah, pay him that pack of cigarettes, because you didn't stand up in the war.
Okay. Yeah,
some dudes were coming out of what was called emergency housing unit.
Yeah.
So I was known for,
okay.
I'm gonna
Person didn't do what they supposed to do.
I was out of my mind. I was young, and one day a guy, I remember.
At this point, you're still early 20s.
Yeah, a guy named Eastside Mike. He came on the yard and said to me, hey man, what you in here for? I said, a murder. He said, you got life? I said, nah. He said,
Did you have an out date?
Yeah.
Which was when?
1986.
Oh, so not really that long.
Yeah, because they had initiated the day-for-day law.
Oh, 50% basically.
Yeah, so we all signed. First we bucked it, because all you can get was 45 days for assault on staff or stabbing. When the day-for-day law came, you could lose up to a year. And you could be DA referred. So Malibu Mike said to me, Eastside Mike said to me, you got that pretty girl that come up here? You got that little baby that come up here? You one of the fortunate homies that go on visits all the time? He said, you like it in here? He said, you don't have to pay no gas bill, no light bills, no so on. And he just gave me a whole reasons of why I want to stay in prison and why I should want to go home. And he said, you stabbing everything here, man. Because I was on the yard one day, he seen me out a knife this long. And it was in my sleeve. And he was like, what the fuck wrong with you? And I was like, I got my sword, homie. I was wild. So I was in Tracy Gladiator School. So I thought about what he said, and I started programming. And I went to a lower level. I ended up going to Tehachapi. And I was fortunate I went home, but I was chronologically in my 20s, but mentally I was 17. 31 days.
You hit the street in 87?
86.
So crack is in full swing.
So, yeah, crack is in full swing. Turtle, rest in peace from Santana, get me kidnapped, as I often say. What I mean by kidnapped is, when I was in Tracy, he kept telling me and a guy named Wayne Stewart, rest in peace, that when we come home.
Because he never went, or did he ever go in, or briefly?
Yeah, he was in Tracy with me in Gladiator School. Now, he was only a hot second, but he said.
But he was a serious drug dealer.
Yeah, he said, when you come home, I have this for you. Well, you have to bear in mind, when I left the streets, man, the most money I ever had in my life was $1,800. All right. So who believes all these fantasy island stories about the crack cocaine thing? I don't know about it.
Yeah.
So anyway, when I get out, my homeboys keep telling me, Turtle want to see you. And I'm like, The next thing I know, my homeboy tricked me in the car and takes me up to this place where Turtle's at. And he takes me, he opens a drawer. He's like, that's about 300,000. You can have any parts of that. I've never seen that amount of money.
He was making serious money.
And I've never seen that amount of money. So then he gave me my issue in drugs. And that first month I made $50,000. And it was unbelievable. I used to sit in my apartment and just look at the money.
Were you selling to users or?
Yeah, I was selling to everybody.
Okay. So you're selling an ounce, you're selling 20.
But I was still gangbanging.
Oh.
You can't do both.
No.
So I subsequently shot up some dudes. I shot one in the throat, one in the neck, and
over gang issues,
yeah, just drive by.
Oh.
But not getting them drive by, just to pull up, and
But purely gang, wasn't about no money.
no, just gangbanging. I was gangbanging. So I go back.
You just got out of prison.
Yeah. So it's a
Still
high-speed
interested
chase.
in violence.
I'm banging.
Yeah.
I don't care about money.
Yeah.
I'm banging. Money don't mean nothing. It's just an added plus to shoot dice with. You know, and to buy my car. I had an Audi 4000. You know, just buy my cars. You know, so go
So
shoot.
what happened with that case?
Long money. I shot a dude. The police were on the street observing the drug traffic. Me and my homeboy pushed up. I said,
Where was this at?
this was Crenshaw Mafias. So police pushed up, and because I got my dope spots in Inglewood, and I pushed up and I bucked my eyes and said, who got a 5-0? And they all ran up to the car. And then I pulled up the firearm and just started shooting.
Oh, you were trying to see who was selling over there?
No,
Oh, you just wanted to lure somebody to the
I just
car.
wanted them all to run to the car.
Oh, wow.
So my homeboy pulled up, he stopped. We stopped. I'm like, hey, who got a 5-0? And they all ran up to the car.
Oh, you just started shooting.
And I started shooting. So I shot one right here, shot one right here. And the police were observing the drug traffic on the streets. So it became a high-speed chase. We got caught on the block and all that junk and so on. Went to jail. I bailed out before the parole hole could catch me. Then my parole agent came over to the house.
Age of before computers, huh?
Yeah. So he come over to the house talking about he was going to lock me up. So we drew down on my parole agent, called two of the homies, locked him into the house. Fuck
Oh,
you.
wow.
I left there, went on the run, then I went to jail. And I paid a guy named John Jarosky. I paid him, and he got me. The blood said, we're not going to kill you with the courts. We'll kill you when you get out. As soon as I got out, they shot me too. They stuck to their word. I give y'all props. You know. So I ended up getting discharged a firearm within city limits, $500 fine, and possession of firearms.
So nothing. Oh,
Nothing.
did those guys live?
Yeah, they both lived. I shot one in the throat.
But definitely attempted murder.
Yeah, so they hadn't changed the law yet. In '87, they changed the law to life for attempted murders. So it used to be just 12 years max. So, but they didn't come to
You
court.
got basically, not, they didn't come to court.
They didn't come to court. They told me they were going to come to court. Actually, I went to the gang module 4300. They had just opened it, and I opened the little window, banged on it. I said, hey, man, any Crenshaw Mafias in here? Tell
Oh,
them-
that was the blood mine.
Yeah, and I said, tell them this dog from Carver Park, man, tell their homeboys don't come to court. And then one of them came to think, said, oh, the homies ain't coming to court on you. We're going to kill you when you get out. And I was like, wow. So, you know.
Well, I mean,
it's
that's
better
what
than nothing.
some type of revenge.
So I ended up going to prison for a parole violation. I got 10 days to the house. A guy bumped into me, didn't say excuse me. And
So I'm sorry, what was your sentence?
I got 1 year county lid,
So
a $500 fine.
you can really see, like, let me ask you a question. Okay, again, let's go to your adult mind right now, looking back just as a neutral intellect. Really inappropriately light sentencing, you know, do you think that the criminal justice system was just kind of like, I mean, Southern California is so large, like, just let these blacks do whatever bullshit they're gonna do each
Yeah.
other and don't worry about, and then that just slowly let it keep getting worse and worse, because frankly, I'm glad you're here with us free, but I mean,
I had a judge tell me that I should have never been on the
you shouldn't
streets.
have been walking around.
I had a judge tell me that one time.
Yeah.
All this stuff you've been to jail for, I have a 29-page rap sheet I'm not proud of.
Yeah.
And the vast majority of his shootings.
I mean, to just call random people to the car and shoot them,
Yeah.
and get a year in the county,
Yeah.
is the criminal justice system's, I mean, not doing what it said.
But I've seen
Just
dudes do 2 years for
guys.
murders.
Yeah, oh
You
yeah,
know,
for sure,
so,
it happens.
So I ended up getting 10 days to the house. Guy bumped into me. So I walked up to him and said, damn, man, whether you red, black, green, blood, Crip, whatever, doesn't matter. You say, excuse me. And he told me, blood? No, he said, when you see bloods pushing, get out the way. So I gave him what he wasn't looking for, and I picked up 18 more months.
Oh, okay. Still
And
not that bad, but.
Shit, I was 10 days at the house.
So you get out this time, what,
I go to
90?
San Quentin.
How long were you out before you caught that case?
31 days.
Oh, so you sold crack for Turtle for a month?
And I sold it for myself.
Well, okay, well, from Turtle.
And then I ended up staying out 3 more months on the run.
So he was out 120 days.
That was it after all the time.
Wow. He was
Well,
crack.
when you got out,
And
man,
Turtle lost his life while you went back in.
when I went back in.
Okay.
But when you come home and you see dudes in Mercedes Benzes, Cadillacs, lowriders, Sergio Tacchini,
It was not like that
Gucci,
when you left in
when you left, when you see at the crap game, it's $100 crap games, where it's just stacks of hundreds, where you see dudes that have, I never was one in the jury, but they have on all this jury, and the dudes say, oh, this 40,000 right here, and stuff like that. You become like, wow, this is easy money. When you can make $1,000 a day and there's 50 of you on the block, and you're not even trying. So that was because I tried to get a job, and there was a check the box here, and no go. So I ended up getting out of San Quentin, and I'll say it, Neckbone and Puppet from A-Trade Gangster, we hit a lick for some birds, and we go our separate ways, and I'm back in the game. So I never stopped the criminal thinking process.
And what year did you say this was?
This was in 1987. I came home from San Quentin.
Oh, the first time. Wait.
No, I went back. See, I got out in 86, and I went back in 86.
Oh, and you only did a year, and then you got to 18
months, and I ended up getting out at the end of 87.
Oh, okay.
And so when I got out at the end of 87.
Oh, you hit a lick for some birds.
Yeah, so I hit a lick for some birds. We went our separate ways. We did our thing, and then I went back for.
Did you feel like a drug dealer or more like a gangbanger who
I didn't feel like a drug dealer
happened to have some drugs?
I didn't feel like a drug dealer until I turned 28.
Okay.
That's when I became a full-fledged drug dealer. Prior to that, it was like
That was when you hit the lick for them birds, or a little after that?
No, I was 24 then.
Oh, you were still only 24.
So it was like basically like I got money. I could pay the bills, baby mothers, be quiet. I'm out here busting this pistol. That's all I lived for. All I lived for was to shoot our adversaries. I didn't live for nothing else. Get fresh, shoot our adversaries. Who cares about the money part? I got dope.
Was the community at this point now, what you described in the late 70s as some of you guys were out doing bad stuff, but still seemed like a cohesive working class to middle class black community? Now it's becoming
a war zone. Yeah. It was horrific. I got shot in 86. I got shot in 87. I got shot in 88.
Kind of a totally different place.
Yeah,
in the space
yeah. I got shot in 86. I got shot in 87. I got shot in 88. I got shot in 90. I got shot in 93.
Oh, wow.
Because of my distinctive walk, they could see me a mile away. And because I was a shooter, it became, basically weird things I didn't approve of. Like, man, why are you talking to Miss Such and Such or Mr. Such? Like, he smoked out. So the respect factor was lost. When dudes' fathers are coming up to him, man, let me get something, man. I can't let you get nothing. I got to make this money to take care of my sister. You ain't taking care of her. When dudes start screwing women, that were you 15 years old, you screwing 25. So it became, I was desensitized because of the prison. Okay, I mean, I seen several dudes get killed in prison. So I was desensitized. So coming home, and as a gang member leading up to that stage of my life, I was already desensitized and I didn't have no emotions. So it was like I became the shooter. I became a very, very active participant.
Any of those shootings on you, how close did you come to losing your life?
I had a guy one night, me and my homeboy, Big Crazy, was together. I walked up on a car, said something to a guy. He said something back to me. He pulled out a gun, shot me. He hit me in the stomach. I put out my gun, I shot him. No, he shot me again before I could shoot him. Then I shot him, then he shot me.
Was this just an argument or was this a gang thing?
No, it's a gang thing. Okay. So we're shooting it out right there. So, I could have lost my life. I got him up off me. And subsequently, I got 5 bullets in me right now. And I got them 3 still in my stomach.
And when you said you had, so we talked about 2 homicides.
Oh, I picked up 2 homicides in 88. I picked up a double homicide.
You were accused of.
Yeah, I was exonerated.
Yeah.
And
what was the story behind that?
2 more bloods.
Oh, so that was, you were
just bloods.
You were really into that.
Yeah, and then I was exonerated. I came home.
So again, you had money to pay for an expensive lawyer because of drug money?
Yeah, but what actually,
or didn't even get that.
It was I pushed them. What I mean by I pushed them is speedy trial.
Oh.
All right. You going on he say, she say. I never had co-defendants. I only had a co-defendants one time.
Was there a witness?
Yeah. She said
like
it could have been
crackhead or
him.
something?
She said it could have been him.
Oh, okay.
And they blew up a picture as big as this wall of me, and she's like, I don't know, he had long hair then. I had
Was
waves.
that a regular person or some crank?
Yeah, civilian,
Oh.
looking out her window allegedly. So then I subsequently beat that, I came home. I think I got out of Corcoran. No, I didn't get out of Corcoran, I went to Corcoran before then. So anyway, I went home and I went right back for some more shootings.
So what year was this? 90 now? 89?
Yeah, 90, I went right back. I got shot as soon as I got out in 90. I got shot coming out of my spot.
So life for these years is just
Getting shot, going to
someone trying to
jail,
kill you and you trying to kill somebody.
that's all I lived for. But
And
I
the
had,
money's not.
it's
you're-
irrelevant, it's just
You
coming.
ain't going on trips. You just.
I don't care
still-
about none of that junk. Children's mothers have got the latest fashion, whatever they want. I'm doing stuff like this. Give me 20 pair, well, give me every color of those suede boots you got for her, size 8, except for burgundy or red. Give me every one of these leather jackets right here, except for burgundy or red. You happy? Okay? And that
Now
was
I'm
that.
back on the block.
Now I'm back on the block. One of my children's mothers say, man, you got 40 pair of black khakis and 40 pair of blue khakis. That's all you got in the closet.
So that's all you need.
That's all I wore. You know, I didn't wear it, you know, we go out, I'll go get some stonewashed jeans. You know, it's nothing but Cortez, British Knights, khakis.
And at this point, colors has come out. The Olympics has had Bloods and Crips are starting to be kind of a culture phenomenon. Probably some of your friends are taking cocaine out of state.
And they enticed me to go out of state. I went out of state and,
Where'd you go?
you know, I went to Colorado for a hot second. I didn't like it. I
Boy,
went
that
to
just
Washington.
would see to go from the guys I know in Detroit. They'd be like, "Oh, we're going to this or that." And I'm like, "Boy, don't you feel out of place?"
Yeah, I went to Washington. Went out there. I got into it with some cats. So I left. I went to.
You might have been a little wild. Were you not yet able to turn yourself down?
I was still on.
South Central.
I was gangbanging. I was gang Compton, Compton, brother. We gonna get Compton.
Yeah.
But
You were
when I went to
Compton.
Baton Rouge, I became a consummated hustler. When I went
Baton
to-
Rouge is a rough city.
Yeah, but I went to Baton Rouge, and that's when I really started hustling.
Oh,
I
so you were, how much did you take out there or what was going
The
on?
largest amount I took out there one time was 7 birds on one transaction.
Oh, wow.
And it
Oh,
was,
you would sell,
I sold wholesale.
sold somebody 7 keys?
Yeah, yeah.
So you would what, place, or the Baton Rouge people would place an order and you'd get it?
Well, I had 2 dudes that I alternated on Mondays. I just dealt with 2 people.
Oh, and they were Baton Rouge natives or they were
They were
LA
Baton
people
Rouge
out
natives.
there?
They were Baton Rouge natives. I had a townhouse out there, and I was about to buy a house out there. I planned on relocating, but one of my homies got killed, and I came back to handle that, and I didn't see the streets for 6.5 years.
How was Baton Rouge, so
Baton
you were
Rouge-
part of the people that brought the gangs to Baton Rouge?
Well,
Baton
actually,
Rouge was
no,
rough
no,
before you
but
guys.
Baton Rouge didn't have no Crips or Bloods, and New Orleans didn't either.
Yeah.
Now, they
No.
tried to kill me in New Orleans over 9 ounces, which foolish me trying to cut a corner and sell 9 ounces for $6,400, and they came in shooting at me, tried to assassinate me over that.
Yeah, but that was I mean, those were already dangerous cities. They ain't
Yeah.
need no Crips or
Yeah,
Bloods.
so, you know, but prior to that, I got out, I ended up sewing up West Hollywood. I ended up selling A-list actors drugs and actors and that.
And this is early 90s?
This is 88.
Oh,
This is
88,
before I caught, you know, my case. And I'll say them, and you can't lie. You can't lie, Rob Lowe, you came to the spot. You can't lie, Justine Bateman, you called me the N-word. You can't lie, James Caan. You can't lie. You can't lie, the Group Surface. You can't lie, Ed Townsend. Yeah, I sold all y'all dope. Okay, not Ed Townsend the actor, but Ed Townsend who sung in the Group Surface. Okay, so y'all can't lie. Y'all all bought drugs through my spots and my workers.
Well, and you know, that's
I had a spot on Sunset and Doheny. Don't act like y'all don't know.
Oh, that's West High. Oh, that was upscale.
Yeah, I had a spot on Formosa. Don't act like y'all
For
don't
those who
know.
don't, the Sunset and Doheny is like where Viper Room, like that's that prime West
Yeah,
Hollywood.
I had a pad up
area.
there. Yeah, so don't act like y'all didn't come. Y'all called me D then. Yeah, don't act like you didn't know. La Caja Follies, where all you drag queens was at, all y'all bought your work from me. Yeah,
So you were pretty rocking.
yeah, I was the man in West Hollywood.
Oh, okay. Were there must have been a few gang members, or a lot of people didn't. LA's so fucking big.
It was
you know,
gang members out there, but they didn't know how to. I learned then how to become a chameleon. Okay, the owner of the Beverly Sunset Hotel, Savage. You know, you bought your work from me. Yeah.
How'd you, when you say commute, you were able to kind of look north?
I stopped wearing khakis.
Does that
I
something
cut
you
my hair off.
developed on your own, or you someone helped
Well,
you, or I mean,
A female I met named Sunny, she introduced me to everyone. She knew everybody in the industry. She used to dance at Total Nude Club on Sunset. And she said, you need to cut your hair off. You need to
Well,
quit
how
wearing
was your
khaki.
hair? But it was
I had a
like-
jerry curl.
Oh, that was a gang. That
Yes,
was.
she said, you need to quit wearing khakis. You need to pull your pants up. We didn't sag like these kids, but she like, pull your pants up. Wear pants that fit you. I said, I'm not wearing that Steven Seagal stuff. She's like, no, just wear pants that fit you. You know, so I made the transition from dressing that way, but I was still gangbanging because when I left Hollywood, I'd go to the neighborhood, throw in the tire, and go back doing the madness.
So you could never divide. Yeah, I mean, people don't realize like.
I couldn't do that until I turned 28.
There's people that just ain't, especially when you're young, violence for violence sake.
Yeah, when I got out of Folsom in 1992, right before the LA uprisings.
So what? Okay, so what brought you back? Like, how did you go back to prison that time?
Homicides.
Oh, that was the two.
I didn't know I was on the run.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know they were looking for me.
Oh, okay. So how long did you sit in the county jail on that?
27 months.
Oh, so that was a tight fight.
Yeah, that was a battle.
Okay, and that was gonna be first degree.
That was I lost my chick. They told her I was gonna get 56 to double life. Parole agent told her he's never coming home. You might as well get with me. He tried to knock her off.
The probation officer?
My parole
Or
agent
the
tried.
pre-sentence?
My parole officer tried to knock her off. He had been wanting her. She was a model. She played collegiate basketball. She was majoring in telecommunications and broadcasting. So she was the whole package for a man. I didn't care about her. She was just another pretty face. You know. So that was that. So I ended up getting out, man, and
but you was gonna, that was a make it or break it.
yeah. So I got out, and
Did that?
because I ended up shooting the dude 63 days later and going right back to jail. And then when I got out,
Did you have to, or was there,
well,
put yourself in a position where you had to?
we were out and about, and then we ran across somebody that was an adversary, and I said, I got this.
Oh, okay, so you didn't have to.
No. So then I came home though, but I ended up getting 2 years for the firearm.
But that wasn't an attempted murder.
Yeah, it was, but the dude didn't come to court. So, it was good. So then I got out, and that's when I started thinking of different.
No snitching is good for the crime rate.
Yeah. So I started thinking, and I end up coming up. Yeah, I ain't going to that. Yeah, I came up, but I came up with a couple of kilos. And I went to another area, Palmdale, and that's when I made the transition from being a gang banger to a gang member. It's a big difference.
Yes.
And so I started selling Pyrus drugs, Pacoima Pyrus in particular.
So that takes us to.
Yeah. But I didn't know that bum, Whack.
Okay. Oh.
But it was the hitters from his neighborhood.
So that's just so I'm somewhat interested in like demography and history. So Pacoima is an old, low income. It was a black community from the 40s and Mexican, and I mean
Right.
it's not like a suburb per
They had
se.
projects.
Yeah, it was a real hood, but it's way away from South Central to Compton.
It wasn't even like nowhere near us,
Yeah,
like us.
yeah.
So when I get to Palmdale, I move
It's an hour drive, right?
I move on the street, yep, in a cul-de-sac, and it's a dude next door with a pit bull. I raise pit bulls. So I go to the dude and I say, what's up, man? And he say, what's up? I'm like, where you from? And he like 2 P's and a B.
Pacoima Park.
Yeah, but they had to drop the B now. But back then it was Pacoima Piru Blood. So I like, what's that? He said, Pacoima Piru Blood. I said, well, I'm from Compton, Crip, homie. I said, I'm finna move in right here with my family. Do I gotta move? In other words, if I gotta move, you gotta move.
Yeah, we gonna have a problem.
And he said, nah, homie. He said, but my homeboy KB live next door, Lil KB live next door, B Stone live right there.
And those were all Pacoima.
Yeah, the whole block.
But this is in Palmdale.
Yeah, but we're on the cul-de-sac.
Palmdale is not near Pacoima either.
It's about 20 minutes away.
Oh, is Palmdale near Lancaster?
Yeah, they're right next to each other.
Pacoima was all the way damn near out to Palmdale and Lancaster.
Yeah, it's in the valley.
Oh, it's that far out. Oh, I was thinking, okay. Oh.
So anyway, I like, all right. So I said, you smoke Sherm? And he like, yeah. I said, I got a pour of water. And I dip a camel. And
But you had never, did you even know they existed?
No.
So there was no personal.
No, I never heard of them.
Okay.
So we got high together. Then he introduced me to his homeboys. They all had pit bulls. And so I started saying, y'all be buying work? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, well, I'll give you down below prices because you could buy you could buy an ounce in Compton for $4.75 and take it up to Palmdale and sell it for $6.50.
So you're going to give them Compton prices.
So I started giving them the Compton prices and we started doing
So they loving that.
So now I'm in with the Pacoima Pyrus. With the hitters, though.
Yeah, real, yeah.
This
They
dude-
were the ones making money, so
And
they moved off.
They moved their
out
families to
of the hood.
Palmdale,
Okay.
but they were hitters.
Yeah,
They weren't
virgin
punks,
people, yeah.
right? So, and that's when I quit being a gangbanger. And then I started going to Baton Rouge, and I started, getting money, really getting money, ghetto money, hundreds of thousands of
Well,
dollars.
that's money.
Yeah.
If it's ghetto money, if you don't turn it into
Right.
legal. If
So-
you didn't have the
Yeah.
the background, you had the brain, but you didn't have a business advisor, right?
Right. Well, I was trying to get out the game. I was trying to buy a hip hop shop and things of that nature. So,
Did you ever try to get into music?
no, that wasn't my forte.
Okay, but that's when gangster rap was blowing up and all that. But you just
Yeah.
knew you didn't know nothing about it.
Nah, that wasn't my thing. I was like,
What?
psst,
Yeah. Okay.
they borrowing from the lifestyle I live.
And they hadn't yet gotten to the tens of millions. So
Yeah, so I wasn't into that. So I was doing my thing.
Did you ever see Eazy-E around?
No, I never seen him, and that's what I was telling people. I never seen that dude.
But he wasn't fake. I mean,
No,
he
but
was a
I'd never
real-
seen him, and I used to be on that side of town. I
Cali
never seen him.
Burger.
Yeah, so I ended up in Baton Rouge one day, and I was about to buy a 14-room house out there. My child's mother and me,
How much was that back then?
$217,000.
About $1 million now.
Yeah, so, we were going to buy a house out in Gonzales Parish, and we talking about someone, and I get a phone call, and they said he had just got killed. So I flew back to Cali. And,
One of your Carver Park guys?
no, he was in Compton, Crip, though.
Oh,
And I-
buddy, personal friend.
Yeah, and I flew back to Cali, and I was gonna go put in work or whatever, and I got caught up with a Mac 90, 350 round clips, 2 9mm and a cell phone. And
So you
subsequently
were
went to
still a
prison.
gang banger. 'cause
I was
you
still a
were-
gang member, not bang.
Well, but I'm saying if you were gonna fly back to California to,
But he was my partner.
okay.
On a personal tip,
On
if
a
you're my
part-
partner, I'm gonna do something for
Okay,
you.
it was a friend.
Yeah,
Okay,
he was my friend. He wasn't even from my neighborhood.
Okay.
So that happened, and I ended up going back to the pen.
But luckily, really, you got caught, maybe,
I got caught with the firearms.
with your guns before,
Yeah,
yeah.
at a gas
maybe
station, I
that-
got caught with the
It
firearms.
certainly saved those guys, and it might have saved you.
It saved me
life.
too.
Yeah.
So, me and my son was in my van, and LA County Sheriff looked at me, and we exchanged eyes, and the rest is history. You know how they did it then.
What? Beat you up?
No, just searched the van.
Oh, exchange, yeah, he knew who you.
So-
Oh, he could tell, like.
Just the racial profiling thing. So,
Oh.
so I ended up going to prison. I got out September 16th of 2000. And I was back in the game. My daughter got killed October 25th, 2000.
Oh,
My
sorry.
12-year-old.
Was
Thank
that
you.
a gang?
No, it was,
Well, I mean, was she
she
caught
got
in-
hit by a car on some dudes on some
Oh,
crap
okay.
on her way to school. So,
Ah. Did they get in trouble?
nah. So I went on one basically on certain areas, and
Oh,
I went back to prison, which saved my life
yeah.
because I was smoking PCP every day and doing this every day.
I lost a child, that makes you just,
So-
nothing means anything.
I got out of prison, and I hit a lick for 10 pounds of meth and 10 pounds of chronic and like a half a nice amount of money. And I never looked back until I caught this case literally that I just did 18 years on.
Oh, for drug conspiracy.
No, I caught takeover bank robberies. My thing used to be, was my capital. I'd come home from prison, I'd go rob a check cashing spot, a bank, a jewelry store, casino, or a supermarket. Then I'd come to you and like, man, I got $80,000, I need some work. Then
Did
I'd
you
go,
learn the elaborate robbery game in prison? Or you
I learned
just-
on the streets.
Okay.
I was a jacker, I was always a jacker.
Okay.
That's what they called it. So I'd go buy all this work from you now, and then I'd take little homeboys in the neighborhood, and I'd confidentially, don't tell nobody but here. If you tell anybody, I'm gonna do this to you. And I'd get money like that. So, cause somebody told me one time, if you can pick up money from 10 different dudes every day, you win it.
Oh, yeah.
So I picked up money from 10 different dudes every day, but I had a gambling habit. So my thing
Your
was,
own worst enemy.
yeah, my thing was I didn't do robberies. I wasn't a dude that did robberies for a living. I was a dude that did robberies
Fun.
for capital.
Yeah.
Capital. So I know I can run up in this bank or I can run up in this casino with a crew and I can leave up out here with about 50 for me. I can go buy work.
So you got your long term from a bank robbery.
Yeah. I got, I
What
had a-
was that story?
we had, well, I came on September 1st, September 5th, I hit a check cash and lick, got 53,000. Messed up telling my co-defendant. 2 years later, he told on that, the rat.
2 years later? Oh,
Yeah, because we were fighting the case. No, we were fighting the case.
Oh.
So, did a takeover bank robbery. Cop said he never stopped at this yellow light. He stopped at the yellow light that day. He said in 10 years of going to work, he never stopped at the yellow light. And he glanced over and said, that doesn't look right. Called in and said, is anything going on in this area? They said, yeah, a silent alarm just went off. And he followed him to my house.
Oh, well, nothing wild happened outside.
No, it just was what they call a fluke.
Yeah.
And so they surrounded the house, whatever.
Do enough crimes, you catch a bad luck.
Yeah, it's the first robbery I've ever been in jail for, really, literally, except for that when I wrote Cameo's beat, Psycho's beat.
Yeah.
But, so everybody using Compton used to come to me when I got out of prison because they knew I was immediately going to get hit a lick and my success ratio was in the high 90 percentiles. I'd hit a lick and I'd get on. I didn't make it a living. I'd just go buy a shitload of weed.
Yeah.
So I was already up. I bought like 270 pounds of weed, but I was the type of dude that you can come to me and say, hey, Bri, can I get a loan? I'm like, no, I got a lick we can go on together. I got a Stater Brothers we can knock down. I got a Ralph's we can knock down. I got a jewelry store we can knock down. But I'm not going to give you a penny. You're going to earn it. That's just how it was.
Yeah.
So I'll go to prison. I go to the feds.
You got 20 years or something?
I got 47 years.
Oh, and then you got it.
I got it. They knocked it down to 20 because it was an illegal, wrong sentence. I had 20 on count 1, 7 on count 2, 20 on count 3.
I mean, probably that was lucky given your extensive criminal history.
Yeah, I was a career criminal.
Yeah.
So I went to the feds. Subsequently went to USP Terre Haute. Anybody in USP Terre Haute now, it's a dropout spot. They a snitch, a child molester thing.
That was a rough place.
So I go to the USP Terre Haute. I meet all the board members. I get a crash course in GDs,
Board
Vice Lord
members of
Stones.
Chicago people.
Yeah, I meet all of them. All of them, from Crusher to GD to DD, Larry, who was the original co-defendant. All of them. All of them know me.
Crusher just got out. He got on the first.
He's in Houston right now with Jay Prince. I keep track of my guys.
Yeah, he's got the books out.
Yeah, all that. Yeah. So they know my work. Medevac specialist. But if y'all don't know what that means fly you up out of the joint in the helicopter.
What, was it mostly Chicago people in Terre Haute?
Yes, it was 4 dudes from California.
Oh, 4.
4.
So you probably had to make a strategic alliance with somebody to a degree.
No, they invited me down and I told them as a Crip, I can never make an alliance with you guys. Everybody's our enemies except for North Daniels.
Oh.
So,
and because that's under what? Whose
that's
rule is that?
That's California.
Who is
California? That's just California. It's just how California.
I mean, there's nobody per se telling you that.
Because of my extensive prison history. Say I would have went to Chicago or to Terre Haute and made an alliance with guys. Then when I came to Victorville USP, dudes would have been like, "What the fuck you doing? You know better."
You might have got stabbed, or you would have got stabbed.
I would have had to answer to somebody because I know the rules. So I get to Terre Haute.
These rules are just. It's not like a Gambino where there's some boss of the Crip. It's just amongst people.
It's our rules. We don't have alliance with no one. Okay. We're renegades. Yeah. So I get to Terre Haute. I stay there from 2006 to 2008.
By this time in the 90s, in prison, our Bloods and Crips are being together.
Yeah, by then they're it's a unification.
Black or just LA or whatever.
Yeah, black. It's a culture thing. Yeah, okay. Whatever. And Crips and Bloods, we cool with each other. So I get to the Fed. I get to Terre Haute. I get a crash course on the DCs, give y'all props, y'all some beast, and so I end up staying in Terre Haute. I leave Terre Haute.
So those were the 2 power dynamics there, Chicago and DC.
Yeah, well, they had the coalition. They had the GDs, the Stones, the Vice Lords in parts of the Midwest and the Four Corners, and the Latin Kings. They were in the coalition.
And they ran Terre Haute, or was the main
They ran Terre Haute. They ran Terre Haute. We're going to keep it 100. Yeah. But the DCs were a powerhouse.
Because there's just always so many of them.
Yeah, they were a powerhouse themselves. We were 12 deep to Crip car. But fortunately for us, we didn't have no busters. We had 12 hitters.
12 hitters, okay.
So they hey, they're out of their minds. And I was leader of the pack. I ran the car, but I ran it by example. It wasn't you go get that guy. Like, I'm gonna go get him this time. Next time you get the next one.
Did you catch any cases in there?
I didn't catch no cases, but I caught some. I put in that work
against 9 California people.
Yeah.
Oh, just about arguments.
Well, a couple of homies we had to get rid of because they were no good. Paperwork was faulty. and outsider.
And there ain't no, hey, you're no good, you need to leave, as you were gonna stay.
Yeah, you
or
gotta-
are they given an opportunity?
I mean,
to
I used to tell dudes like, homie, get up out of here.
Would they?
If you didn't, you knew what was gonna happen.
I mean, did people stay and wait to get
No,
stabbed?
I never had nobody buck. I ain't never had nobody buck on my watch.
Because they knew they was getting stabbed.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. I remember I told a dude on the yard, you know, he said, man, I didn't tell on this case. I told on a prison murder. And I said, you know what? I said, man, get up out of here, man. And he got up out of there, you know. So it was like that. So I left Terre Haute. I went to USP Victorville.
Victimville, aka.
Yeah, that's what I call it, Victimville. And
But was that more comfortable for you because it was California, or just more,
it was more comfortable,
but
but
also more possible problems?
wasn't no the Compton watch car. We were solid. And plus my name, my reputation preceded me. And it
So
was,
if it's a lot of California people or a lot of LA, it's Compton and Hubbard and Dubs.
yeah. Victorville turned out to
Bloods
be.
ain't Crips, Hubbard and Dubs.
Yeah. Well, no.
Crip,
No.
Hubbard and Dubs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Victorville turned out to be California Department of Corrections.
No, it was like being in the state.
Yeah, so, you know, I hit Victorville. They put me in a building with 14 Bloods and 17 Crips. I got to leave here. Everybody was under 30.
Oh.
I can't do this.
Were they at each other, or?
No, they just got drunk
Bullshit.
together. It was always this, it was always that. They were rolling up dudes that weren't, you know, and just,
Yeah.
it
And
just,
how old were you at this point?
I think I was
30s?
40, like 41 or something like that.
How
42.
deep into your sentence were you?
5 years.
Okay. Oh, so you did like 12 years at Victorville.
I did from 2008 to 2016.
But you did 8 years at
Yeah,
Victorville.
then I started fucking the CO and I had to get up out of there.
And where'd you finish off at?
Then I left Victorville, I went to Talladega, I butchered my cellie, I put 172 stitches in my cellie
Oh,
face,
what was
sutures.
that story about?
He stole from me and he told on his mother.
Stole from you, this was a black guy from LA or somewhere else?
No, he's from Alabama.
What did he steal from you?
He stole approximately $300 worth of stamps, which was
That's
commodity.
Right, the money, yeah.
He stole $300. He stole 30 flats from me. I had about 2,000 flats, and I guess he thought I didn't peep how I leave things.
Oh, so he was just a sneak thief.
Yeah, I used to put strings on my stuff, so if you opened it, the string would fall off. Thread. You know, so if you open my locker, the thread will fall off. If you open anything of mine.
Was Talladega FCI or US?
Yeah, but Talladega was all dropouts. Preacher was there from New York.
Yeah, New York.
Yeah, all these.
Oh, Preacher was there.
Yeah, he was. Never mind, I'm not going to spade his
There's a
business.
lot of, a big chunk of people are rats. More than a few people are rats.
Yeah, but he's still dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was a lot of cats there. I told
He
him.
was he's supposedly one of those guys that people a lot of times won't get rid of because it's like
Yeah.
you
It's a problem.
You still got to get rid of
Good
him.
of him, yeah, or he gonna get rid of you.
Yeah.
So I got there and I went to what's called team and I told them I don't want to be here, and they said, "Well, you're gonna stay here." I said, "Okay, I know how to leave." And
So you didn't like it there.
No, I left there 40 days later after I butchered my cellie. Well, I stayed in the
So
hotel.
you was basically waiting on an excuse.
Anything.
Okay. And he gave you one.
He gave me one. So I left there. I went to Pollock after 10 months in the
Oh,
hole.
bloody Polak.
Yeah,
That
no,
was-
but Beaumont's bloody Beaumont. I left Pollock. When
Polak's bad though too.
I got to Pollock, they said they didn't want me there.
So you weren't really there.
I was there for 40 days too,
So a guy from Detroit told us,
you know.
he said like to wake up some mornings, they out there hiling Hitler. He said, he made it sound
Yeah,
bad.
Pollock was a beast. So I left Pollock, I went to Bloody Beaumont. They wouldn't let me go back to California, they would punish me. So I get to Bloody Beaumont, I take over the Crip car there. And,
What was, why was Beaumont, like it just, what made that bad? What was the mix of people that made that bad? Or was it the guard? Because it could be the guards
No.
at a particular place that let it be bad.
It was Texas.
Which is so big, they got their own.
It was all down south. It was the Tango Blast. It was the Texas ABs. And it was like probably about 6 of us from California.
Oh,
and
not many.
it was 12 in the Crip car though. And my reputation already preceded me before I got there because I've been down with dudes who've been to Victorville and stuff, been around the bureau with me. So got there, but it just went down all the time.
Just about all type of shit.
Yeah, you know, there's so much in-house. So I told my homeboy I didn't want to stay there. I was going to go to the yard and bump into somebody. And if he said, why you didn't say, excuse me, I was going to stab him and leave. So Yeah.
So that's the only way you're at those. If you're moving around in those circles,
They don't want to let you leave. You go just stab
you
somebody.
gotta stab somebody.
And you get the fuck out. So
Both from the perspective of the administration moving you, but even maintaining a reputation.
Yeah,
You
so-
can't just ask to leave.
I tried to leave. They wouldn't let me. So I signed up for a program.
But they're not giving you extra time for stabbing nobody.
Nah,
Not really. Whole time, but no extra.
lose 47
extra
days.
time. But
If
not added to your
Yeah,
sentence.
in the feds, if you don't get caught with the weapon, no prosecution, literally.
Boy, if people, until you know about what goes on in prison, you would think it'd be hard to get away.
Nah.
with
The
something
feds got
like prison.
cameras everywhere too, but they got
Yeah.
blind spots.
Yeah.
So I left there. I go
And
to.
they don't really want to
Yeah.
solve it probably a lot.
They
much
know when it's
work.
in-house, they just let it be in-house. So I left there. I go to Leavenworth. I'm in the Life Connection program.
Was that, how was that? That's an old,
Leavenworth every Thursday, take a bath. Take a shower.
once
cook your
a
food.
week.
No. I'm saying every Thursday is Thursday. Okay, the bus is coming. So let's go shower. Let's fix our food to eat. Let's get on the email. Let's make our phone calls because somebody's getting downed today. The entire time I was at Leavenworth, somebody got downed every Thursday. And
Every time the bus,
yeah, every time the bus came,
somebody got stabbed.
they got stabbed or some of them got killed, and we'd be off lockdown the next day.
Oh, why was Leavenworth like that?
Man, it was an old school joint. It's a huge joint. And when dudes came there, they already knew they was no good because the laundry tells when you're getting there before you get to any federal prison.
I mean, they sent a lot of no good guys to Leavenworth everywhere.
Well, no,
There's
you got
good
dudes
guys.
who just thought they'd make it through. I don't know why they thought like that. So I got kicked out of Leavenworth because I got kicked out of Life Connection program, and I went back to.
Where did you feel, I mean, I guess you handled your business forever, but where was the most kind of had your nerves on it? Beaumont or Leavenworth? Or hard to say, all of them.
No, Terre Haute at that time
Oh.
because I had the Crip car and we were only 12 deep.
But nothing that bad happened, or it did?
No, but I was a law clerk and I'd be sitting at the desk. I used to have a knife up under the desk, and here come 5 dudes walking in here. And they're like, Bri, let us talk to you. And I'm like, what's up, man? And I'd get the knife, and they're like, we want to talk to you about one of your guys. And I'd have to get up, and I'm like, well, what's going on, man? And here it is, this guy's talking to me, and he got 3 security guards right there.
Oh, he's just a guy.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck, But if the homie would have stabbed one of them or something, I always knew I was the target. So I had to wake up every day conscious of the fact that it might be my last
And this
day.
is a lot of, well, I mean, what do people get into? Unpaid drug debts, gambling?
I might owe you for some cigarettes. I might have borrowed a book of stamps from you, so it's a tax of 7 stamps a week. So it might have went into 3 months and I ain't paid you.
But in street money, it's hundreds of, it's not even no money.
It's nothing. Well, okay, look at Felix Mitchell. Look what he
Yeah,
got killed.
$10.
It's the saying. Remember?
Oh, that was in Leavenworth too, yeah.
Remember the old saying? It's not the money, man. It's the principle.
Yeah.
It's the principle. So, so I was always on the edge in USP Terre Haute. Always.
Little Dirk's dad was there probably.
I was with him in Victorville. I didn't understand him, but that's a different story.
He had became the Muslim.
He was Imam, yeah, but he asked me, well, I'm going to say it. He asked me one day, why are you getting all these degrees? Because I have 4 degrees.
In what?
I have a degree in social and behavior science, another degree in business, another degree in American studies, another degree in humanities.
Oh, bachelor.
Now, they're all ASs, but I have enough CSU transferable credits because I took every class available and I can just transfer and bypass
You
a
got
bachelor's.
4 associate degrees in prison. Okay.
Yeah, that's all they let us get. But I took every class in psychology, sociology, and business, and they're all CSUs transferable. So I can go do 1 full semester and get a master's.
Oh. So Little Dirk's father, Big Dirk, who didn't tell on Hoover, got 25 years, had a big drug case, but by the time you met him, he was the imam.
Yeah. But he asked me a crazy question one day. Why are you getting all these degrees? And I just looked at him like.
Yeah, what does that mean? Yeah.
So I told him it's to substantiate what I'm going to do with the rest of my life when I get out of prison. That's why, man.
Well, maybe he just felt religion was all that mattered, I guess.
A lot of them get caught up in that. And I tell them, okay, well, that is not going to apply to the real life when you go to get a job. Yeah, so that was my tenure, and then I'm getting out. I've been out now, and I have the ankle bracelet on me since July last year.
Oh, you have? When did you get out?
I got out in 2020, but I had a year halfway house.
Oh, so you're pretty fresh. Oh, you got out during the pandemic, too. Did you
Yeah.
get out early at all because of the pandemic?
I got out early because Trump signed the Sins Reform and Correctional Act,
When would you have gotten out?
2022.
Oh, now. Okay, so you got a couple years.
So, and they put
But
ankle.
you're fresh back in the world.
Yeah, I got the ankle bracelet off me in July last year.
Came home to pandemic. Well,
Yeah, but I came home.
being in the joint.
But you see, you got to say so. I don't have no sympathy for nobody out here. I don't have no sympathy for homeless people, nothing, and I work with the homeless. This is why
Oh,
I'm saying
I
this.
feel you on that one.
If you can ask me for 20 cents, $2, you can go to McDonald's, say, hello, welcome to McDonald's. Everywhere we see says now hiring, even next door to this place.
Oh, God.
Okay?
I have a hard time hiring people.
I've never had a job. I came home separating feces at a waste management plant. Never had a job. I moved up into the hills of San Pedro. When I was in the halfway house, I stacked my money. Now I live in Playa del Rey. I work 16-hour days. So nobody can tell me anything. What I mean by that is on why you're in dire straits. You're in dire straits because you choose to be. Drug addictions, I smoked cigarettes for 34 years. I haven't smoked a cigarette in 18 years. I smoked PCP from 76 to 2001. So you can't tell me about no addictions.
76 to 2001. Oh, that's probably a good drug in prison in the sense that you can just lay and be out of it. Right?
I was all right, but so that's my story, man. But you know, and I say this, man.
So you're fresh.
Yeah, I just say this. This is what I always say to people, man. You know, check out, my channel, OG.
Well, no, let me go into this. So, but you've done a really good job here in this short period of time.
Oh, yeah, you want to get on the boy. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm going to give you your whole thing. So you've done in this short period of time,
Then we started going on social media, and then this clown, Whack 100, I just didn't like the way he was tearing down people that looked like me for no purpose.
And you had connection. Did you stay in touch with those Pacoima people?
Well, I knew him from prison and things of that nature, so they all knew me, the hitters, And
those would be Whack's theoretical big homies?
Yeah, but they would be the ones who were the ones. Because I didn't ever mess with lesser gang members. Right. If you weren't a hitter, I didn't care. Right. Even from my neighborhood, I didn't get away from me. Subsequently went on Clubhouse. I saw he was tearing down dudes, so I served him verbally. And I was the first dude and the only dude that got at him so viciously that it was no response. And I said, my name is Brian Darnell Berkeley Sr., a.k.a. OG Bri-Dog, a.k.a. Bri-D, a.k.a. Bones Low, 28208-112, C49623, Freedom Information Act, Lex Law, West Law, Fine Law. You can check me out. Never made a statement, never will. You a buster. The only thing you could ever did in the gang roll with me is hold my pistol to the crap gang. And I went on and on and on and on Whack. And there was nothing he could say in response. And the only thing he ever did was he tried to put out a fraudulent statement saying that I was once upon a time of blood. Never in this life or the next, but he tried to put that out. Then he called someone and said, I just wanted to do that to see what he would do. But prior to that, when I roasted him, he called Melle the Hood Postman. He called a couple of more cats and put me on the phone and said, man, I ain't got no beef with you, man. I can open doors for you. I don't need you to do shit for me, dude. I need you to quit tearing us down. So that's why I went in on Whack. I didn't go in on Whack for clout chasing, anything of that nature. I went on Whack because I got tired of you tearing down us as a people, man, for no apparent reason. And it was all young dudes trying to make it. So I know you can't say nothing bad about me, so I went in. And people were like, oh, damn, dude went in. Who was that dude? And it was no clapping back because there's nothing to clap back on me. I'm uncut, no smut. My prison and street pedigree is immaculate in that fucked up world.
Yeah. And there's Whack doesn't have really any real presence in the street.
I'm gonna share a little story with you, man. I'm in CMC East with a dude named Pooh. Rest in peace, good dude.
Oh, Pooh Ryder? Was that his?
Okay, so Pooh. So I'm standing in front of a building with Chuku from Neighborhood Rolling 20's Blood, and Black from Neighborhood Rolling 20 Blood, and Pooh Ryder. I don't smoke marijuana. I have to have some marijuana in my pocket. I'm like, oh shit, y'all want this weed? So Pooh Ryder said, man, Suge Knight over there, man, I want to go rap for him. I said, well, take your ass over there. So he goes over there.
What year is it?
This is 1998. So he comes back, man, Suge gave me a deal in an apartment and all this, and he's excited. So Pooh Ryder subsequently get out.
Whack met Suge probably through Pooh Ryder.
This is what I'm getting to. So now, Pooh Ryder subsequently gets out, and I hear that, he gets a apartment, but he doesn't want to do things, he want to get high and all this, smoke Sherman, just hang out with the homies and so forth. So Pooh Ryder, big old light-skinned, slow dude. So now from the way I get the story is, some way, somehow, Whack finagled his way into death row via Pooh Ryder. So literally, Whack, if it wasn't for me telling Pooh Ryder to go over there and I named names who was there, I wonder if you would be where you at today. And then when you got to death row, they treated you like you was a wet food stamp, you was a glorified gopher. They treated you bad.
And you probably know a lot. You must know a lot of them are dead, but the people in the mob probably run
all that. Me and George G, as they call, we were in the U.S.
That was the big PCP case.
The
one they called Monkey Man or whatever.
Yeah. George know me extremely.
Is he out?
Yeah, he out now.
He just got out.
Yeah, he did.
He'd be somebody to interview.
You know.
Or definitely, depends what's going on. But
anything's possible for you.
Yeah.
So, so anyway, so really it's like, do your homework and then
Where were you at with Shook?
I went to CMC East. I hurried up and left there. I don't like being in weak spots, and I was in the CMC East.
That's a medical.
Yeah, and they tried to turn it into a regular joint. And I was like, man, I got to get up out of here. Get me up
I
out of
heard
here.
some, like people don't like being in.
I don't like dudes like me. Don't like being in places like that. So.
And then Mule Creek is like a protective cover.
That's a sensitive need yard.
Okay.
He left there and he went to the snitch yard.
Because I interviewed a guy, I want to say it, and then I was just looking at.
But they have different regular facilities.
And I was like, okay, you were in Mule Creek, but maybe when Suge was there, it wasn't a sensitive need yard.
Yeah, they sent him to the sensitive need.
Oh, Mule Creek was sensitive needs even then.
They had opened up one there.
People didn't really know that.
They had like 6 yards, but one of them was sensitive need yard.
People didn't know that.
Yeah, so.
But now the whole thing, I think, is sensitive.
Probably so. And they're about to do that to Lancaster. Two of my homeboys called me.
But now they're reintegrating it, but it's a whole nother.
But that's so, but it's a lot of things going on with that. So that's my story, so I shut Whack down, he tried to cap back. He couldn't, he didn't try to cap back because he knew it wasn't that. He called certain dudes and they told him,
leave it alone.
Wrong man.
Yeah.
So that was that.
You had a Charleston White issue.
Well, the thing with Charleston White was, and this is how I ended up meeting Mob James. Charleston White was saying all this derogatory stuff about Los Angeles. So I put myself in a 16-year-old mind frame. And I said, a hypothetical, what if a 14-year-old boy that's an honor student from Texas come to see the world we know in Crenshaw, and he has on a Texas Longhorn jersey? And I'm a 16-year-old man.
That's a great, I didn't think of that, but you're right. That's a,
yeah, this is how I was thinking, and I'm trying to prevent black on black, even just people on people.
Which he claims he's trying to do, but he's doing it in such a clownish manner it could cause other problems.
And so what if I was a 16, I put myself in the head of a 16-year-old rolling 60 who loved Nip, and Nip is getting dissed by a dude from Texas, and I see this 14-year-old honor student who came down here just for the summer.
Just a nice kid.
And I'm going to say, where you from, man? He like, I ain't from nowhere. What's with that Texas shit on? Oh, I'm from Texas. Then I dome him and I go back and tell the homies, oh, I got one. Yeah, Charleston White, I killed the Texas. That's how I was thinking a 16-year-old dude. So I flew down to Texas to show brothers here that there's no beef with the Texas dude. So I went all around Texas, Compton, head to toe.
Oh,
and and I have interviews of that and so forth on my channel, and I subsequently went up to a park for the children, okay? And so Charleston White put out there, because Raymond Washington's daughter was up there, I did an interview with her.
Oh, in Texas?
In Texas, I'm in Texas, I'm in Fort Worth, and I'm in Dallas.
Oh, okay.
I did an interview with Dewberry and so forth, and I'm saying, I'm just showing brothers from California, there's no beef with Texas, don't believe this clown.
Yeah.
And so he made a statement that Raymond Washington's daughter was setting him up for me to kill. And then he made just Fantasy Island for real. So how I'm gonna get on a plane with a gun, man? Anyway, so you can get fired, but So then he said, I wonder if his probation officer knows he's down there. But I told my probation officer prior to going down there, I want to go down to Texas to launch my webpage and to show brothers from California that there's no beef with Texas.
Which is all true.
And so then he tried to, who is this Bri-Dog? And eventually someone told him, like, stop it. And so he never said anything else about me. I never bit into him no more. I never even said anything, all the stuff he said about me. He alluded to I must have been gay to do all the time in prison and things of that nature, which is a fallacy. All men in prison aren't gay. And so,
it's an attempt, because it's
was a character assassination.
No, it's clout. It's just try to get you in an argument.
And it didn't work with me. I never responded.
As I've been riding people, you'll just see a mate,
Yeah, I never responded. So that was the Texas whole thing, and that was into him. Meaning, and my thing, because I never responded on anything that he said.
And then there's the recent little controversy with the FG and Mob Jam area.
This is all I have to say about that, man. I don't believe anybody's mouth because I was a law clerk for 10 years. I believe black and white. I have co-defendants that are rats. In my sentencing transcripts, I say Jason Matthew McDowell and Anthony Alexis King are the government cooperating witnesses. There's no objection from the DA. That solidifies that they're the government cooperating witnesses because the DA didn't jump up and say, objection, what are you talking about? The judge says, well, some former corporation get guys things. I say, I'm cool, I don't even want to talk about it no more. I just want to put their names in my sentencing transcripts. I even have a guy from my neighborhood, I sent all the paperwork to my homeboys of where he had 3 secret meetings at Wayside against me. So if you allege that somebody told on you, produce the paperwork.
Or you don't think he really did?
I think like this. I don't have an opinion on anyone that's allegedly a tattletale until I read it. Because I've seen too much of favoritisms, I've seen too much of slander in federal prison.
And you got a lot of people who some people in prison are smart and sophisticated, but you got a lot of high school dropouts reading a big legal thing, and it could seem some way that it's not, or be misled or whatever.
Dude said Big U is working with the police because of the grid. No, learn contractual law and agreements. The agreement says that anyone who's gonna get that money from them to stop gang
And he talks
prevention.
about it, he's a gang intervention, yeah, I mean, it's not like he
It
hides
says
it.
if
Yeah.
this guy on 7th Street got shot by some guys on 12th Street, okay, you are supposed to say, hey, can you guys on 7th Street stop shooting the
You're
guys
not
on 12th
supposed to
Street?
solve the crime and
And
give
you just
them,
ask
yeah.
them, can they stop? And when
Yeah.
LAPD comes, you could say, I don't know what happened, but apparently someone came through
Yeah.
on 7th Street, shot a dude.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not telling you to get on the phone, hey, my name is Big
That's part of
U.
why
And
it's agenda to get views,
so he gets someone to read like they're intelligent
which they're not.
that took what you would call a
Snippet.
redacted statement.
That they have no context. You got people who haven't, I mean, you got 4 college degrees, you got people that don't have a high school diploma,
Yeah.
suddenly looking at